Dudayev announced that he would head the new cabinet of ministers, and until then, there has been created a new committee headed by Mr. Pomadayev. How the subsequent events will develop is yet to be seen, but no one's looking for a quick answer. There are too many unknowable factors here in the political and economic puzzle which we have here in Grozny. In Stavropol, we have more than 30,000 refugees. Most of them are from Chechnya, Ingushetia, and although they are not officially classified as refugees, how else can you call them, since they've abandoned their homeland? No one forced us out, but the situation is too intense. People can't take it. No one provides us any guarantees that we will be alive today or tomorrow. No one will guarantee that. And there's no one to protect us. The Kochubeevsky collective farm accepted 20% from there, gave them work. Some of them work driving tractors, others work in the fields. In this empty field, they're going to begin building a settlement, which we'll call Sumzhenskaya, in the honor of the place where the refugees came from. They're supposed to get, the refugees are to get loans and construction materials to help them in their new settlement. The hospitality in Bonn is very peculiar. The Germans are polite, but they don't leave Mr. Yeltsin any time. He has so many meetings that they follow one after each other from early morning to late in the evening. Yesterday he had intense negotiations with the Chancellor, and then he met him in his castle in Petersburg. A representative of the government, Björn Enhorn, recently occupied his new post, and he has a chance of becoming new chancellor. We are looking for billions in assistance to our country during this difficult period of transition to the market. Mr. Weigel here, Theodor Weigel, has a different goal: to avoid greater budget deficits. He doesn't want to squander governmental funds. He wants guarantees that the Soviet Union's debts will be honored, and that Russia, as the heir to the Soviet Union, will not become a Latin American-type debtor. Here, Mr. Yeltsin is speaking to Baron Landsberg, and here he's meeting with Gregor Gysi, who is the head of the former Communist Party of East Germany. Tomorrow he'll be meeting with Genscher, and there will be a special commission on foreign affairs in the Bundestag. Here he visited the municipal authorities of Bonn, which is in no hurry to give up its place to Berlin as capital. And even though 10 years are allotted for this transition, nevertheless, roughly half of German government bureaucrats will remain in Bonn. But the democracy in Germany could be a model for other countries. And perhaps we should, the Soviet Union, think about a German-type federation. Here is Mr. Weizsäcker is meeting with Mr. Yeltsin, and although he has no legislative powers, he is symbolically #1 in Germany. And he is very successful in uniting the country as a symbolic figurehead. In Russia, there exists traditionally there are traditional ties with Rhine-Westphalia, and this circumstance might be very assistance on an agricultural level. So that's the end of Yeltsin's program in Bonn, having signed the joint communique. At the same time, we agreed that we would immediately begin preparing for a comprehensive agreement between the new Germany and the new Russia. The German side is of the opinion that Yeltsin's visit to Bonn is a de facto recognition and within the international community. Russia remains nevertheless a powerful European country, and Bonn has no intention of cutting off ties with us, even on an all-Soviet Union, all-Union level. The following information has been received from foreign news broadcasts. The Security Council in the UN has unanimously recommended that the new General Secretary for the next 5 years be appointed Mr. Ghali, who is the Deputy Prime Minister of Egypt. This is not confirmed yet, but no one doubts that as of the 1st of January, Ghali will become the new General Secretary. And for the first time in the history of the UN, this will be a representative of Africa and simultaneously of the Arab states. For the first time since the break in diplomatic relations with Vietnam, in New York, Vietnamese, American negotiations have begun on normalizing relations between the two countries. According to the participants, the atmosphere was a warm one. They discussed bilateral topics, including Vietnamese refugees and American prisoners missing in war.
Thank you. Well, we're beginning.
In
the British Parliament, they have concluded 2-day debates on the subsequent integration into the European community. There were 2 documents which were brought forth. There was a resolution of the government, which was very cautious with regard to the new negotiations, and the position of the Labour government, where they are speaking about a currency and economic union. So by a majority, they adopted the resolution of the government. Thus, the last word was had on unified monetary system is yet to be said. In Washington, we have negotiations between Shamir and Baker. At the end of the year, after negotiations, there will be announced a new place and time for subsequent negotiations with the Arabs, including the Palestinians. Mr. Shamir spoke in Baltimore and said that he was not about to give in to pressure from Washington and would not return lands seized from the Arab countries, including Syria and Jordan. The Iraqi forces have again attacked the Kurdish villages in the north of Iraq. Iraqi authorities called upon the Kurds to hand in weapons in the course of 2 weeks. Otherwise, there would be severe reaction on the part of the Iraqi government. The Kurds have responded that their soldiers would attempt not to respond to these provocations, but that they nevertheless were expecting serious actions on the part of the Iraqis. According to Baltfax, the Ministry of Internal Affairs of Lithuania intends in a number of cities to begin hunting for certain important members of the former government and the special troops which were known as AMON. I won't comment this, but here is the results of our sociological survey, a probe. 33% of those polled in evaluating the level of democracy were negative or very negative in their view. 33% were uncertain, and only one-fifth of the people were positive with regard to democracy in the Republic. And that is information from Baltfax agency. Today, May, there was established a Baltic common market. How can we improve the life in the Baltic states and integrate the former socialist states into the world economy? These were the chief questions which were discussed at the international meeting, Mare Balticum, which took place in Tallinn, Estonia. This is an important event which has now created a new Baltic Trade Council. Its headquarters is in Tallinn and has missions in Hamburg, in St. Petersburg, and Stockholm, and we hope, in view of this, that we will soon have here a major representation for Central and Northern Europe. Here's a news item from Moscow. The fundamental thrust of military activities was discussed today in the Ministry of Defense of the USSR. I might note here the chief problem, the problem of the military draft. Both the ministries and the draft boards intend to be more organized in the next draft. They are maintaining the extraterritoriality principle. Young people will serve for 1.5 years. Those who have higher education will serve for 1 year. Also, there will be contract service, professional in nature. Persons who went AWOL and who are now being searched are to be amnestied if they appear voluntarily, either at the draft board or at the local police station before December.